this happened a long time ago. This was like before the Celtic tiger started to bite. And I used to hang around with this friend of mine, Mary. Mary's kind of a vortex in the same way I'm an anti-vortex. Things would happen around Mary all the time. And we decided we would go to Galway. Myself and a colleague of hers would loan of a house from some teachers who were from the Midlands. So we arrived in Galway on a stormy sort of night, and we arrived at this house about 9 p.m. We were shocked to find 4 young teachers sitting around in their bathrobes sipping hot chocolate. They were horrified at this incomprehensible behaviour at 9 o'clock on a Friday night and ready to go out for a night on the town. Basically 2 different species of women meeting each other.
So we got out of the house as fast as possible after dumping a
key. So off we went out on the town.
Much of the night has disappeared into fragments. We were definitely in nothing, possibly the Tubber. We were in the Crane too.
Seeing somebody very like Sharon Shannon playing the accordion.
A nightclub with red walls. What happened? Went into an old flavour fragment and a frenzy of the evening. It came to about 3 a.m. anyway. We were bouncing between pubs and clubs and it was time to go. Partook in something that I am ashamed of to this day, but in my defence I will say this was a long time ago, and so we just all decided that back to the house. So we arrived back to the house without incident. Just would not open the door. The whole house was dark. Obviously the teachers from the Midlands were tucked up in their little bed to get out of their beds for anything. She sat in the car, completely unruffled from the night out. Myself and Mary attacked the house with our Swiss Army knives and various tools, but we couldn't get into the house. Suddenly Mary had this amazing idea. I know, guard station, and they have magic keys there. I know they have magic keys because I've seen it in the streets of San Francisco. I was amazed. I said, that is genius. So we piled into the car and took off for the Garda station. Into the car park, I was tumbling out of the car, the counter. I stumbled around in the middle of the room making a few circumnavigations with my hands out, mostly because I was wearing a furry Russian hat, which I used to love, but it used to fall into my eyes all the time, so I was completely blinded, stumbling around. And our friend marched straight up to the notice board with her arms crossed, began to read all the signs from left to right in order. The guard in question at the counter was actually very sympathetic to our plight to us that there are no such thing as magic keys, suggesting we get back in the car, drive back to the drunk still, and try and open time and send out a guard on a motorbike. He couldn't do anything either, back into the city centre, and there was one bed left, and our ass disappeared in the door, up the stairs, got the bed, sleep in the kitchen, and Mary, she's a traveller, like she travels to different countries. She curled up on this tiny bench in the kitchen and just fell asleep straight away on a tiny bench like that. So I was sitting around the kitchen when the boy, pudgy, spotty, fair-haired, sweaty kind of creature, this was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was starting to be hungover, literally chasing me around the kitchen table. Pick Mary up and say, Mary, we have to get out of here. This guy, and she was not very happy with me. We piled into the car and drove out to Spittle, where we both managed to catch a couple of hours of the map. And that was the Galway incident.
Mary, Galway.